All right, boys and girls, welcome aboard for this edition of State of the Atmosphere. Tonight, we've got a lot to talk about, a lot of stuff in the pop culture update. Madam Web, how bad is it? And what are the ramifications for the Sony Spider-Verse? It looks like it's been put on hold. We'll talk about all of that, plus some things that go with the Noc List tonight on State of the Atmosphere. All right, welcome to State of the Atmosphere. I'm your host, Joe's Atmosphere. It's good to see you. And as usual, I got some friends along tonight, starting with Admiral Teague. What's going on, my brother?
Hey, am I muted still? No, I'm not. Hey,
No,
I'm doing okay.
you can
Everything's
stop
going
cursing
well.
me and start acting like a civil human being. Yes, you can.
Uh, yes, that's right. I was just cursing Joe under my breath before. No, hi everybody. We'll be live for a little while. I'm going to be hearing some of this for the first time, and some of this I know a little bit about. I'm the one person here who didn't go see Madam Web. Make of that what you will about everyone's intelligence.
Well, depending on how long you're here, you may not even get in that discussion. I mean, we got the pop culture update first, so we've got a few articles in there. But
No problem.
anyway,
And welcome to
right along
everyone
with
from my
Teague.
channel. Sorry.
What's that? Go
Welcome
ahead.
to my chat. I just want to say welcome to my channel members for
Oh
jumping
yeah.
on, and thanks
Oh
guys.
yeah.
Tweet out the stream, let people know we're live. Hey, Melted Copper, Resolute Germ, John Sapola, and Mark Harkness. Good to see you guys.
Well,
Thanks for coming
okay,
by.
we'll do that now before Noc gets in here. Hi Noc, how you doing? It's good to see you, man.
Hey, I'm here.
Yes,
Yeah.
you are.
Hi, everybody in everyone else's chat.
First one in tonight. You know who it was. He's here every time. And if you need to know what his name is, no, it's not fuck the headquarters, whatever the hell that stands for. His name is pretty simple, actually.
There are some who call me Tim.
That's my man Tim, and we got Etep in the house tonight. What's good to see? Good to see you, man. Looking forward to having you on board for the draft show we got coming up here pretty soon. When's the draft? Noc end of April? Is that when it is?
Generally,
Yeah, I think combine's coming up pretty quick, right? That's the next thing on the docket. It's the combine. But yeah, around the end of April, we're going to be doing the draft show, and ETEP's going to be on there with us. E. Clay Thomas is in the house, and Admiral Teague has brought his crew along. John is here, and Resolute Germ is here. Mark Harkness, good to see you, man. Good to see all of you guys. Thanks for coming by. Melted Copper's here. Even if Sony Films didn't bomb, making Spidey villains heroes makes me not want to see him fight them. Yeah, well, that's the whole. I don't even get me started on making bad guys good guys. It makes no damn sense. Let's see. ETEP says the only reason Madam Web didn't lose over $100 million is the tax credit from overseas VFX. Really, and from Canada. If I'm not mistaken, that's why their loss total will be around 80 to 85 million. I haven't cooked the books on this thing. All I'm going to do is review it tonight. But yeah, it's good to see all of you guys, man. How's your week been so far, Teague? Have you worked at all? What's up?
Yeah, you know what? Things are going very well. I've been to the place to do the thing.
Cool. That's good.
Yeah,
That's good.
all
Glad to
going
hear
well.
that.
I might be
Knoxville, what's up
shuffling
with
kind
you?
of a weird phone call. There's a private chat about it. I don't know if it's going to come back in or not, but if it does, I just got to take it for a minute.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Just
Cool.
mute yourself. You'll be good to go. Knock, how's your week been, man?
Doing all right. Got a little bit crummy news as far as the event I'm going to next month. I paid for. I was going to do a quad photo with Rosario Dawson, Hayden Christensen, Ming Na Wen, and Natasha. What's her face? Sabine. And that got canceled, so I had to break up my ticket.
That sucks.
I'm going to do a duo and a couple solos. So
Very sorry.
it would have been
That
cool
makes
to
it
have
cost
all
more,
four.
doesn't it? Yeah.
Was there some kind of con that this was going to happen at?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to 2 cons next month. There's an awesome con in DC, and then there's a Galaxy Con down in Richmond, Virginia. So I'm going one weekend after another. So got a nice plate going on in March. I'm going to take a lot of photos and
have fun.
But yeah, so that was a little bump. So I'm doing the duo with because you can't like you had to say, oh, I'm going to do a refund, right, to get your money back. You could exchange the tickets. They make it really easy to exchange tickets, though. That's cool. You just put in the code that it comes with it, and but if you tried to exchange it for something that was lesser value, then you would lose the difference.
Wow.
But if you tried to get something that was more expensive, you would have to pay the difference.
Yeah.
So seems kind of. So I found a combination. I took out Natasha, so I'm not going to get hers, and I traded it for Charlie Cox. So I'm going to get Daredevil's.
Ooh, Charlie Cox. There you go, man.
I'm going to get a photo with Charlie Cox.
Is there a better Marvel television show than that one right there? I don't think there is. That.
I mean, Loki is my favorite so far, but okay.
Yeah. Well, see, yeah, I'm a big fan of Daredevil, and they did an awesome job on that on Netflix. But they took the handcuffs off on them on that too. It was before Disney had them, so they made a R-rated show that was pretty damn awesome, man.
The reports of the burned episodes of Daredevil would seem to bode well for the idea that they might just listen to what happened with the Netflix people and try to go in a similar direction.
Right.
Plus, what they tried to do with Kingpin didn't work at all in Echo, from what I understand.
I didn't even see Echo. We didn't even talk about Echo.
I saw a couple episodes of it. I mean,
saw her make an idiot out of Daredevil.
Charlie Cox
like
and Echo herself are going to be at that con, and I don't think I'll go see her. I didn't really care.
As Daredevil in the MCU, he is 0 for 2 in being anything but pathetic. He was horrible again.
Yeah.
It wasn't his fault. I don't even think it was him. I think it was his stunt.
It's not his fault. It's the
no. I mean, like,
it's horrible.
Like when we saw like his reaction shot or him like turn his head sort of to give her a more intense look, that was him. But like that's all he did. His stunt double did most of that, and it was just not a very well rendered fight.
No, I mean, I watched what the channels on YouTube put out. That was it. I haven't watched any of Echo. I guess I should, but I can't.
I watched the first episode, and I got to be honest, it shocked me. By right before the end, turns out the entire first episode was something of a previously on. There was some kind of verbiage on the screen right before the end that left me like, wait, what? And I was like, all right, I can't even deal with this.
Horror Hound Weekend, March 22nd through 24th. ETEP says, hit me up. I'll be there. 3 days causing trouble. Nice. Horror Hound, man. Do they have horror cons, man? That's cool. That's cool. I'm a big fan of horror movies. Of course, I haven't been able to watch one since the turn of the century because my daughter grew up and moved away. That's who I watched them with. But anyway, okay. So let's get started with the pop culture update. Let people know what's going on. First of all, we'll look at the numbers from this last weekend. Now, this is just the weekend, okay? This is the 16th through the 19th. This is just the 3-day weekend. It's not everything from Valentine's Day to now. But Bob Marley's One Love seems to have won the weekend. It's made $33 million, and I'm hearing mixed things about it. Most people say it's pretty good. That's one I'm interested.
They have the rights to the music.
Yeah, That's what I hear.
So since they have the music, it's going to be hard to mess up the story of a likable, sympathetic person that people think highly of, who had great music.
Yeah, awesome music, no doubt. And I'm looking forward to seeing it, but I'm just not going to go see it in the theater. That's one I can wait.
Double what Madam Web made.
Yeah, it made double. That's what I was going to say. Made double with Madam Web Day in that 3-day span. Madam Web did 17 million on more screens too.
It had started on Thursday. Too. The total take for Madam Web is 31. It still didn't do as well with 3 more days.
No, it didn't. It's pretty bad. Pretty bad. Argyle came in third with 5 million. That's in its third week. And then Migration and Wonka rounded out the top 5. Wonka, it's got a respectable number there for these days. It's up to 200 million. So, what's that?
That's streaming now too.
Is it?
Yeah,
that's streaming, and people are still paying money to go see it. Wow, that's pretty good.
Doing quite well on several levels. People seem to think that it's worth seeing in theaters, and a couple of people from my channel who saw it were like, inoffensive, works well with the Gene Hackman one. Nothing like what we saw with Johnny Depp. Much better than that as far as consumability.
Right. My brother and his wife go see everything. Now he came to visit this weekend, and we hung out with him Saturday. Went to dinner with him and everything. And he went to see Wonka when it first opened, and he said he liked it. And that's usually not his kind of movie, but he said it was. He liked it better than the Burton version, right? Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. He liked that a lot better.
That one was needlessly freaking weird, although people do say it was close. Hi, Lady V. People said it was closer to the book. Hi, Mark. They said it was closer to the books and closer to the actual story they read, but it was really, really weird. It was really, really weird.
My man Etep says, I made double what Madam Web did, turning tricks for 4 hours yesterday, and it was a slow day.
Where were you? I'll come by and help you and triple up that money.
Crazy, man. Oh, my God. Oh, man. Okay. So, first thing I've got for us to look at tonight, what is it? I mean, I must put the jinx on these actresses when I start getting into their stuff and enjoying them. I don't know if you guys saw the Kristen Stewart stuff in Rolling Stone, but
she's been at this for a while, bro. She has been at war with her looks for quite some time. That's Charlie's Angels movie. She looked like she just rolled out of bed.
Yeah, but she's done some movies that I like, man. I've never seen a Twilight movie. Let's make that clear. I'm more of a True Blood guy myself, But I loved that. What is the name of that show? Snow White and the Huntsman. I love that fucking movie. I thought it was awesome.
The only person to get a sequel and not invited back to their own movie.
Right? Yeah, she wasn't in the second one.
Difficult.
Man. Yeah,
it was difficult.
That's what I hear.
Writer's marriage.
Yeah,
she had an affair with the director or something like that.
I mean, this cover is just really weird. I don't know what the mullet is, and yeah.
She's always got horrible hair these days. They picked what she looked like though. Like the idea that they threw money at her and she was like, no, I won't take it. I'm okay with her doing it, but this looks like shit.
It does. And I'm not going to show all the pictures, but just wanted to give you an idea of what it was. And the article is just, wow. This is a troubled person, man. It is. I'm sorry.
I don't know.
Reading it, I can tell that's a troubled person. So,
Oh, the interview?
Yeah, she doesn't sound like a happy person at all. It's really weird. But I'm a fan of hers because of Snow White's and the Huntsman, and she played Princess Diana in a movie that she was nominated for. What was it, last year or the year before?
I haven't seen the movie, but
you haven't seen it? It's pretty good.
She can act when she's in something. Like she was in this Camp X-Ray movie. It wasn't great, but she was all right. Like
I like that. I like that other one too. What is the name of that? Oh God, hang on. I'm gonna have to pull up IMDb early in this show because my old brain is not picking up on it. What's the one?
She's getting typecast as people's fantasy.
American Ultra. Isn't that the movie with him, her and Jesse Eisenberg?
I think so.
Yeah.
Like Gitmo, right?
Yeah, I think it's called
Yeah.
American Ultra. Have you seen that?
That
Noc?
might be the name.
No,
Really? You might
I'm
have
not
It's
a
not
fan.
so bad. Like she can
He
actually
cannot
act.
draw me to a movie. So
She was coincidental
Well,
to this movie existing. She was not really a Kirsten Stewart movie.
yeah, American Ultra. Jot that one down, man. You're gonna want to watch that one eventually. It's from
It was actually
2015.
okay.
It is good. And it's Jesse Eisenberg. She's just a support character in it.
I
You
mean,
can actually rewind
he's
back
not
to how
anything
annoying
crazy
she was
special
back
to me
then.
either. So,
No,
Yeah,
but
what can I say? She was 9 years less annoying, but those 9 years happened, so she's going to have to deal with what she did. This is not going to help her. This could be the end of Case Stu right here because
yeah,
she looks pretty bad. And I'm just going to say it. This looks like men's erotica of other men.
right. Yeah,
the way
well, she's trying to
dressed.
look. What do they call it? Non-binary. But yeah,
They decided how she was going to look. Let's remember that. She didn't say, I have these pictures. Do you
gender
wanna buy them?"
neutral.
They
call it?
approached her.
I'm not sure.
This is something that Rolling Stone likes. She's just a model in this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But she has been, on occasions pretty annoying. And we have seen her on occasion just be a little bit wacky. But as far as her acting skill, no problem with it. I wish she would just, comb her hair, put on nice clothes. And it sounds so chauvinistic and so fucked up, but she is now fallen into being like everyone's favorite confrontational character. It's like someone out there has a fantasy. It's like, we're going to make a Charlie's Angels movie, but we're not going to fall into like this Farrah thing. We'll have Kirsten Stewart in there and we'll roll her around in an
that thing was horrible. I watched it because I'm a Charlie's Angels fan, and it was way worse than advertised. Melted Copper says Twilight is wrong, not due to glitter vampires. The part where the 300-year-old guy is attending a high school to prey on kids is a tad creepy. But maybe I'm the weird one for thinking that. No, you're not weird. I thought that was kind of weird.
No, you're not weird. You're just not a teenage girl. That's all.
Right? You're not a teenage girl that wants to hook up with an old man, right? What the hell, man? That's crazy. Yeah, that's nuts, man. But yeah, I mean, it seems like every time I become a fan of one of these chicks. I mean, the last one was Elliot Page before he became Elliot Page. I don't get it, man. Every time I think I got a new favorite actress, they pull some stupid shit. It's crazy, man.
Ellen Page was kind of cute, and that's nothing wrong with saying it because we're referring to different times, right? So we're not changing anything. So when the person now identifying as Elliot Page was identifying as Ellen Page, they were attractive, and both Elliot and Ellen Page have equal acting skill. The Umbrella Academy proved that they could do it, and one thing is, as a 37 or 35-year-old like multi-millionaire adult, their decisions were a lot different than like some other things we hear out there. So like I'm able to like kind of look the other way and not have any sort of concern about how millionaire Elliot Page chooses to live their life.
In the case of Elliot Page, look, they
were 30 something. They had a lot of money.
If this makes you happy, I watched her she did an interview with Oprah on Apple TV, and now she looks like she has actually, this has improved her life. She actually is a happy person now. And it's
she did seem less happy when she was
really made her good.
Elliot,
we've seen her in so much stuff now, right? I think
who wouldn't want to rather be a guy, right? I mean, that's right there. Boom. I'm just kidding,
but I haven't seen her.
Women suck so bad. You lost Ellen Page,
right?
I'll just say, honestly. Joe's right, though. Elliot Page seems to fall under what I call the Chaz Bono exception, where it just worked out. And Elliot Page seems happier than Ellen Page. No one wants to see anyone, and no one here wants to see anyone suffer. No. But like, let's get to the point where you can smoke some cigarettes and have some means before you go changing your life irreparably. And think about it for a while. Elliot Page was 35 years old. At 34, they're Ellen Page.
That's an adult person. They can do what they want, and
a very wealthy one.
She looks a lot happier. The only thing is, I think her career suffered because of it. So,
but the Umbrella Academy did well.
I mean, the only thing I've seen her in is Umbrella Academy.
The thing is,
they stuck with her on
probably.
Hi, John. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good.
All right,
hey, John. Good to see you. Honestly,
the one that made me the one that made me the saddest was Demi Lovato. she was beautiful, and
Demi Lovato.
now she's in it. Well, I think she went back to she, but still, she's a singer. She's a very popular singer.
Okay, I may not.
I don't really know
is.
about that.
You know her. You know her songs.
I don't know who Demi Lovato is.
Pull her up for me. Pull her up for me, and give us some before and after looks there, bro.
She's a Disney child.
Yeah, she was a Disney.
One of those. Okay,
Was she?
One of those fuck with their head.
Let's not go down that road.
Hey man, it can go either way. The Mickey Mouse Club has had some successes and some serious failures.
Remember, Kurt Russell was a Disney kid.
I was fixing to say Kurt Russell was a Disney kid. So was Ron Howard. He grew up in Hollywood at a young age.
He grew up in Hollywood. He wasn't Disney.
No, he wasn't Disney, but he was on the Andy Griffith Show. And how old was he when he was doing that? I mean, he's been around Hollywood his whole life.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Clint Howard too.
Let's see. Okay, here we go. What you got here? Demi Lovato. Oh my God, what happened to her? Wow. Yeah. Okay.
This is one of those photos that like
this road again.
This is the photos that parents put on Facebook. They're like, this is what college did to my daughter.
Right.
That's what this is. But she sings amazingly. Like nothing is taken away from her voice.
Yeah, I'm sure
you've heard her songs. I know you have.
I'm sure I have at some point. I'm sure I have. No doubt about it, man.
Seems to be bucking for the Sinead O'Connor Award, but I'll just leave it at that.
John, how are you doing, man? How was work?
It was busy.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Good deal. You're gonna do what are we doing tonight? It's Uncharted, right?
Yep.
At 8:00. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, we just got done going over the Rolling Stone cover that Kristen Stewart did. That's why we got on this subject to begin with. So, yeah, man, I just hate to see it. She doesn't look happy in those pictures, and she's a talented chick. I mean, if you like good acting, watch her in her nominated movie. I can't remember what is the name of that flick. It's either Diana or what her maiden name was.
Spencer.
Yeah, I think it's called Spencer. I think is the name of it. Let me see. Let me get to her real quick and look it up. I mean, she's a gorgeous girl. I don't get it, man. I really don't. But hey.
Like I really do think the powers that be woke up and said that this is our official cutout to go out there to be the angriest woman we can get out there. Because ever since this Time's Up Me Too thing started, she hasn't had a role where she's been allowed to be feminine, where she's allowed to be, like why wouldn't she be Batgirl? Why wouldn't she play Cat?
She was fantastic as Diana. I can tell you that. My mom has always followed the act. Yeah, she can. She's great in this movie. It just and it's definitely they definitely didn't pull any punches in this movie. They showed her eating disorder where she would, purge and stuff like that. Yeah. But it's really good. It's about her. It's not about Charles. It's about her and her kids, and it takes place over a Christmas weekend, and it's a good flick. I highly recommend it. But I hate to see her. It just seems like she's an unhappy person, man. It just. But then again, that's half the actors in Hollywood, man. They're neurotic, they're narcissists,
If I was that good looking and someone took pictures of me that horrible, I'd be fucking unhappy for a really long time too. I mean, did they take the pictures and then ask her how she was doing? It's like,
yeah, but she
like shit, horrible.
Yeah, but she wanted to look that way. That's the whole point of it. She wanted to look that way.
She was handed money. When she's almost irrelevant. That last Charlie's Angels movie was her last thing she did. Like you said, didn't do well. The TV movie, she acted well, but she herself probably
I never finished the sci-fi movie she did, Underwater. It looked cool as hell to me.
It did. But I actually enjoyed it.
Yeah, I haven't finished it yet, though. It's just, it kind of slugs along. It's a little bit slow for my taste. It looked like The Abyss to me starting out, That's what it looked like.
It's not as good as The Abyss, but...
No. But, yeah, I got to finish that eventually. But I'm a fan, and I just hate to see her in that position, man. I really do. Because she's getting blasted for it all over the place. Okay, next up, under the pop culture update, we've got how Marvel is quietly retooling amid superhero fatigue. The studio's golden box office aura has been dented, but chief architect Kevin Feige isn't scrapping this year's long cinematic universe plan, just refining it. They're not going to give up, as an insider says. Okay, so basically, this details what their plans are, and really, I think it's pretty smart for them to only put out one movie this year. Take a break from it. They've got plenty of TV shows that nobody wants to watch coming out. I mean, it's
what's still left TV show wise for them to come out.
Well, you've got. Let's see.
Well, Echo just finished.
Agatha's coming up pretty quick.
Yeah, I forgot about that one. And Ironheart, I guess, is still kind of coming.
That's still
no new announcements on Ironheart. No, we're behind schedule on the trailer. I think they're quietly walking away from Ironheart. That really didn't work out in a big way in Wakanda.
Mm-hmm. I mean, what can I say? There's nothing about a character, obviously, that I can relate to. So there's just, I don't know. I didn't care for her character.
Yeah.
Melted Copper. We don't understand.
Check out
why.
this article, guys. It details everything they've been doing since Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. But they're putting a lot. They really are trying to swing for the fences with this Deadpool Wolverine movie. No doubt about that.
All their eggs have never been more firmly in one basket.
And what a basket to put them into! Like,
it's perfect. It's perfect.
I think it was Melted Copper who might have said it. Yeah, I don't know what kind of world we live in where the words "heartthrob Pedro Pascal" flow off the typewriter into so many articles. You'll have to ask the people at Breaking Into Comics or whoever else says that. I think the dude's funny looking. I'm sorry. Like I'm not looking to date him or any other guy, but
I think when he was in Game of Thrones, he might have been a heartthrob, but now he's just older. He's just more sophisticated.
But he dresses like shit. He wears like the most unflattering glasses. He grows bad facial hair. He always
I don't give a fuck.
He never looks happy. Talk about someone who never looks happy. Okay. Talk about someone who never looks happy.
Okay, but to what Noc was just trying to say, Teague. Some people don't pay attention to these folks outside of television shows. Say that again, Noc.
I was saying I don't watch them outside. I've only seen them in Mandalorian. I've only seen them in a leather jacket, and I've only seen them in a robe in Game of Thrones. So that's
and you know what? Everything I've watched with Pedro Pascal in it, I've liked. Now I haven't seen everything he's done. Well, I take it back. There's one, but even he couldn't polish this turd. Wonder Woman 1984. There was nothing he could do.
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah,
it's his movie, but I feel that's his best. He's a good actor, man. I really want to see the movie that he made with Nicolas Cage. I want to see that one. That looks funny as hell. Man.
That is a fantastic. Dude, you want to talk about recommendations? You got. I did watch that.
I just haven't had the time. I want to see it badly.
Yeah, he's so good in it. There's that video. I think we showed it on here. As a meme where he's looking at Nicolas Cage and they're like in his convertible and he's like got that weird let me find the picture. I gotta so
go ahead, man. But I agree with the fact that it's a miscasting. I do agree with that. He doesn't seem like a Reed Richards to me. You're right. You're right about that. But
I'll concede the guy's a good actor.
But if anybody can act it, it's him. I mean, he's
I'll concede he's a good actor. I'll concede he is a good actor. But I mean, handsome. I'm a little hesitant to endorse that.
Yeah, right. I hear you.
At this juncture.
Let's see. I pissed off the Pedro stands on Twitter, and they got mad because I said he doesn't fit into any masculine type role.
I agree with that because I've seen Pedro kind of really weirdly dressed as Justin Trudeau, dressed like Ken, really weirdly dressed, acting very weird and not drugged up weird, just aggressive. His political speech is as frequent as Tuvok. He won't stop. He has to give people instruction, and I prefer he's just stayed a little more vanilla of an individual personality. You know, it's
I
like,
tell you this: if you haven't watched
I can
Last
see
of
the
Us, you're
role.
missing out, dude. He was. I was kind of skittish about him playing Joel. I didn't think he was going to do a good job at it, and he did a dynamite job at it. He knocked it out of the park. Last of Us, really, you know, I thought it was
can't be
great.
worse than Mandalorian.
They took some liberties with the story, just a few, but it was good, man. It was really good. HBO knocked that out of the park. Let's see.
Someone pointed out that if The Last of Us
coming
plays
home
out the
from,
same way,
I'm
That's
sorry.
just a
Sorry.
random meme. I don't worry about the words.
Yeah.
someone
It's a meme,
someone
but
pointed out that if the sorry, go ahead. Are we with
Yeah,
the meme
go
now?
ahead.
Let's go to the meme.
Yeah. Mhm.
I was good. If Pedro's character in The Last of Us works out the same way, that will mean that every character he's played that has died on screen has died by having his head pounded out, right?
You are missing it, Tig. You are rambling
yeah.
on. You're missing it completely, dude. Jeez.
Have it all of his characters who have died to be having their heads crushed. Like it's like a trope with him.
Oh man.
In Game of Thrones, I know it's true.
So that's the scene.
That's
in there.
awesome.
He's fanatically in love with the.
You got to send me that, dude.
Well, just Google it, man. Like that's just a random meme. You can find a million of those.
A tough thing for you to do.
That's a huge. I'm talking about the movie. You got to watch the movie.
I'm going to watch the movie, dude. I'm going to watch.
That was just the first thing that came up on Google. Was that dog?
That is awesome, dude. That is.
Well, they've already Melted Copper. They've already said it's not Doctor Doom.
Yeah, it's not Doctor Doom. A lot of people are speculating it's Captain Britain.
That would be perfect casting.
Henry Cavill.
That was the drawing that they put out there.
Yeah, that's been on half the thumbnails
not
I've seen
Marvel.
when they talked about it. But we'll see.
There you go.
We'll see. Okay, the next one. This one. I'm not surprised by. Hollywood contraction. Actors struggle to find jobs as TV castings dry up. And yeah, man, I bet they're contracting because they've lost so much money, and it's all their fault. I mean, the streaming thing, they pretty much just shot themselves in the foot with the streaming bunch of stuff, man. It's ridiculous. Let's see. Most of the college-bound aspiring actors from high school class of 2020 received their acceptance letters in the first days of the pandemic. Their early studies and stage training were disrupted by COVID, with many classes moving online. 4 years later, the same class is graduating from college and facing an even bigger challenge, a contracted TV marketplace post-strike. And it's true. My kid just went back to work. I mean, you know, my kid works in the industry, and she works on. She's a locations person with an outfit that's in Atlanta, where a lot of that's like Hollywood South now.
They just lost their film subsidy, though. They just capped it or something. There was a development in that today. Culture Casino reported on it.
Really? I'll have to check that out.
I don't think it's the end. I think they put a cap on it because the studios were maybe abusing it. Mm-hmm. And also Georgia, not in the best shape.
Yeah. Well, I just thought that was an interesting one from Deadline because, yeah, it's going to be harder and harder to get these gigs. And it sure seems like of course, they've always done this, but it seems to be a lot more prevalent now. They put the same people in the same stuff all the time. You know, they just keep rotating the same people through the system. So
yeah,
it's harder and harder for these guys to get gigs. It's you know, especially with everything drawn down. You know, I mean, the speculation is that only a couple of these streaming services are going to survive, and they're going to you know, consolidate a lot of these libraries, if you know what I'm saying. So
yeah,
we'll see what happens. But the reason why I wanted to report on that though is because I hate it for them. You know, when you're looking at a bad movie, it's usually not the acting that's bad. It's usually the story and the directing and all that stuff. You know, that stuff they have no control over. I mean, like Pedro Pascal in friggin' 1984. He did all he could with that part, but you can't polish a turd. I'm sorry. You just can't do it. You know?
He was miscast anyway.
Yeah.
But
I ironically enjoyed that movie. It's not a good movie, though. I ironically had fun with it. I laughed out loud so many times at the logic of the film.
Here's the only thing with 1984. My nieces and nephews, who were early teenagers at the time and like watched every, movie that DC and Marvel does.
Yeah,
they didn't even make it halfway through.
Wow.
They left the room to go play on some, phones or whatever the case is. They couldn't even make it because we watched that one at home. We actually watched that one because that was one of the movies that came out right on Christmas Day on streaming.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so we watched it for that weekend, and yeah, they couldn't even. I was like, okay, if this and I suffered through the whole thing just to watch it. God, that ending was so bad, and it was such a shame because I was so hyped about it. It was the reason why I got it to watch it.
Yeah,
because I really enjoyed the first one.
Oh yeah, the first one
was awesome, and then
they completely wasted Maxwell Lord.
Unbelievable how bad.
Wookie, I know you're trolling, man. Shut up. I know you're trolling. We're gonna get to Madam Web here in a few minutes.
Yeah, and as far as the streaming goes, I predict we're going to be left with 3 services.
Yeah,
we're going to have Amazon,
Netflix.
We're going to have Netflix, and we're going to have Disney Apple.
What do you think of the Paramount and Peacock merger rumor that was out there today? Wild story. I don't know what to make of it.
That's not a new
strange
one. That's
bedfellows.
I want to say a couple of months ago they were saying that was projected, but we'll see what happens.
There's been rumors of Apple buying Disney, so
does that move back up the chain and have NBC and CBS, 2 of our oldest networks, like combined into NCBS or something like that? NCIS, I don't know what we call it, but it would be
I don't know if I could take
way to
5 more Law and Orders on channel on CBS, man. I mean, shit,
and a whole bunch more NCIS shows,
right?
Yeah.
I heard the new one is really out of the new one. It seems the new NCIS show has a little bit of just right here, quick pop culture shit. This show's been on forever, so I'll just say it. They say that they fucked up the NCIS prequel, and he's vengeful young Jethro, who's nothing like the Jethro you get in NCIS. It's like going around like red rumming people or whatever. Like they said, they made him too Jack Ryan.
There's a NCIS prequel.
It's in development.
Oh, okay.
I think what happened was they had to stop and rethink it because they accidentally made him into like Jethro Blade Runner. He's just going around deleting people and stuff. Yeah.
I watched it until he left the show, and then I stopped watching it. Although I am going to watch the episode this week where they tribute to David Callan. So because he was Ducky was the heart of the show.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Ducky. He was by the heart. I think you mean the humanity, because Jethro was like this aloof character. You didn't get a lot from him. He was like stoic and angry. He was basically Tommy Lee Jones from The Fugitive. Yeah. He's a stoic, angry jerk. But he always got his man, and he was an interesting investigator. But Ducky was he was the humor and the soul of the show. I wonder if it could go on without him. And who among us remembers when he was in The Outer Limits and played the guy who became the super advanced human being
forever? Yeah, he was around forever.
He's in a Mutiny on the Bounty movie.
Why hire Sweeney and an uber hot chick to cover up that selling point? Sony is allergic to money. Yeah, we're gonna.
No, my thought is they didn't want her being pretty anywhere else either.
Well, I think I have a theory about that, but I'll talk about it when we get to that subject.
We're not there yet, guys. Stop going ahead.
Right, you're jumping ahead. We're almost done with the pop culture stuff. We'll get to that pretty quick. The next one I had was this article. Holy shit! Disney could just keep shooting itself in the foot. Disney exec blames woes on racist, sexist fans. A newsletter reveals corporate arrogance behind mouse houses fall. Go check out this article at Hollywood in Toto. They're talking about an executive that is blaming their bad box office numbers on us, the fans, being racist and sexist.
Did they name Kathleen Kennedy? I mean, that Disney executive.
What's that?
Did they name Kathleen Kennedy? I mean, that Disney executive.
I wish.
You know what? I don't think they even believe it. They are running almost a cult, if you would, among their own workers, and they have to keep these people on point. So they're like, don't worry, it wasn't the fact that our story was terrible, and the thing that you're working on now will be poorly regarded too. What we're doing is actually great. Just like cigarette smoking is wonderful for you, or whatever other crazy stuff they're telling people, and they're going to try to make them believe it so that they come to work happy little, screw turners.
Yeah,
that's my take on it. Because how could you not know that this movie actually did suck if you watched it? Someone sat there and was like,
I haven't
love
seen
this
it.
movie.
I have no intention of watching it. There's only 3 Indiana Jones movies as far as I'm concerned.
I'm going to say it again very quickly. Apply these analogies to a sports team. I like the Jets. So what happens is if the Jet fans showed up and they weren't so uncomfortable with strong women and they weren't so istophobic, the Jets would have won more games. And what we need to do is get a new announcer for the stadium, because if they called some of those passes that were interceptions complete, people would have been happier, and maybe the officials would overturn the call. And I don't know what, right? I mean, it wouldn't have worked anywhere else.
Totally
That's why I
stupid,
use that.
Right? Yeah.
You know what? Now that I expose why I use that analogy, it's still insane, but it makes sense why there's a madness to my method. I mean, honestly, that this business model doesn't work elsewhere. You fans fucked this up. So who fucked up Madam Web? All the women it was made for who didn't go see it, who wanted to see other movies.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The Sydney Sweeney romantic comedy is overperforming. It's not her.
Right. Okay. So we've got one more thing under the pop culture update thing. We have a new trailer, and the trend is continuing as the superhero movies start to decline. We have a new one modeled after a video game property, a video game I've never played. Noc and I think John have played it. It's called Borderlands, and they dropped their trailer, and we're going to take a look at it and give our thoughts on it. So let me go ahead and switch this over and add some sound real fast and we will check it out. Let's see what's up with Borderlands. You guys let me know if you can hear this now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Would you look at that? A ladder! Unfortunately, my design doesn't facilitate this type of...
Well, destiny awaits.
Okay. Are these characters you recognize?
Kind of. That's supposed to be Rohan, but that's not really Rohan.
Okay. That's Cate Blanchett playing her. That's for sure.
No, not her. Kevin Hart.
Okay, I got you.
Blanchett 60.
She's getting up there. Yeah.
Yeah, but she's still.
Why
she's
not
still
just
hot.
get Helen Mirren?
Yeah.
Not that I disagree. I don't disagree.
Timeless. Okay, here we go.
Legend has it that there's this massive treasure hidden in some secret vault. And if you go hunting for it, you'd better take any help you can get. Because it's on the weirdest, most dangerous dumpster fire of a world in the universe.
I am getting
I was wrong,
serious,
by the way.
Thunderdome
she's
vibes
only,
here. It looks like
she's only 54. I wanted to say that.
54? Okay. Well, she's a good-looking 54. Hey,
she looks fine.
What's happening? Let's see. Wookie says
it would have been a greater accomplishment if she'd been as old as we thought she was, but yeah. I said it would have been more impressive if she was as old as we thought she was, but yeah, she looks great for 54.
Yeah, she looks great for 54, man.
She looks great for 44.
Yep.
She does look like Lilith.
Yep. Okay.
They did get the look down, and I think she's close to the. What do you think, Noc? Is she pretty close to how Lilith is in the game?
I don't know who she is. I don't.
Oh,
I don't recognize her. I don't. I haven't played the games that much to know like the.
Is it Eli Roth Wookie? That would be interesting.
Let's see.
I would say the biggest one I know in this one is Claptrap, and that's about it.
Claptrap. That's the robot, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Jack Black is playing that robot, by the way. Bad casting won't be a hard R. How did Eli Roth write and direct this? For some reason, when I saw this trailer, it screamed Guardians of the Galaxy to me. But let's continue.
God, aesthetically, I can see what you mean.
What is that smell?
Piss wash color.
Ew!
Put the window up.
I don't want him! Roll the window up!
It's pink. It's pink. Why do you think it's called piss wash? How did it get the name?
It's in my mouth!
What in the hell, man? Now I'm getting what is that? What is that movie? The Suicide Squad, the first one. That's what
a little bit.
That I'm seeing a little bit of that in here too.
many people have died looking for this vault?
We have something they don't, baby girl.
Okay, what?
Major issues.
Let me ask you this. Do you like the song? I love ELO, man. I can't believe they used an ELO song behind this. It's very cool, man.
It seems inevitable that every 70s song.
Time to make it rain with your body parts.
She's pretty close to Tiny Tina too.
No explosions.
I was gonna say, is that Tiny Tina, the one that made the whole game out of?
Yeah.
I mean, well, that's the character, yeah, but that's not her voice, that's for sure.
Okay.
It's not her voice, no, but I mean the way she's acting is Tiny Tina.
Yeah. Okay. Kate Blanchett.
Step aside, bitches!
Ooh, mine's bigger.
Hold on, I needed a gun, so you asked for it. There's only one of you in the world, and you're special.
Uh-oh.
Kill them all.
Damn, man, this looks crazy, dude.
I'm gonna give it a chance.
Yeah, I'm going to too. But I could see it going down the road of like Valerian. You know what I mean? Being just an onslaught on the senses. You know what I'm saying?
I'll see this on streaming, but I don't have a problem with it.
What's happening right now?
I'm expelling the excess lead. I can't go if you're looking at me. Ooh, actually, scrap that. I can. I really can. Actually, it's helping.
We're really waiting for this to finish.
Keep looking.
You know what's funny is that I like Jack Black, but that sped up version is more like Claptrap.
Is it? Okay. Oh man. Well, that dropped today. I've never played the game myself, but I just wanted to know from you guys whether you thought it was game accurate. What do you think?
I don't know if I can tell if it's game. Like I said, I haven't played the game quite like people. All I can ever see is in the comments where it's just bad casting.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing a lot. Yeah,
Roland, for what Kevin Hart's character, I guess, is supposed to be Roland, and he's not a comedian,
right?
So it just seems like random,
Could I get a pass on the? Yeah, I was going to say random is the word. More weird than bad, right? Because we know Kate Winslet's going to give us a good performance, but what's going on with some of these choices? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, like I said, it looks like Guardians of the Galaxy to me. Jumanji in space. There you go. Maniac. Oh,
honestly,
man.
Even a touch of Resident Evil level camp.
Yeah.
From the movies,
right? The movies, yeah. I haven't even seen what they put out on Netflix. I haven't even seen any of that. But okay, boys and girls, it is time to get into what we had on the thumbnail. It's Madam Web time, and you know what? I've seen it. John, have you seen it yet?
No, I haven't.
You haven't? Okay.
I went and saw One Love instead.
Which was a good choice. That was a good choice. That was a good choice because, there's a bunch of hotties in this movie, but I don't know, man.
One of the hotties is not hot in the movie. They nerf her.
No, and I can show you right here in this picture.
She's not ugly. She's not ugly. Her face is fine, but they nerf her figure. They make her
big
a
time
10-year-old. Just get the figure of a 10-year-old.
Madam Web star. Now, you knew something was wrong with this movie whenever this came out on the last day of January. Madam Web star reportedly furious with new movie drops talent agency in protest. She dropped her talent agency over this. Dakota Johnson did. And I got to tell you, I'm a fan of Dakota Johnson. I couldn't finish 50 Shades of Grey. I could not finish it, but I'm a fan of her parents, and I look forward to what she's going to do. But I don't think this movie's going to hurt any of these girls' careers at all. This could have been a good flick, but man, wow, did they mess this thing up? I didn't enjoy it very much. And Sydney Sweeney looking like that in a fucking movie is just stupid, if you ask me.
I was digging the skirt. I don't know.
Oh, the skirt's cool, but I mean, they definitely strapped down her chest, man. What the hell, dude?
Well, I
She's
mean,
definitely
yeah.
curvier than they showed her in it. But
Yeah. I mean, what were they going to do, Joe? Like they were going to over sexualize a 15-year-old?
No, I'm not saying over sexualize her, but damn, dude.
What else could they have done? Like,
no. Well, at one point, one of her friends tried to sex traffic her in the middle of a cafe.
What?
Funny. But yeah, I mean, it was an okay movie. I don't hate it, but I'm not a huge fan of it either. It's all right, Three gorgeous chicks. One thing that kind of ticked me off though, you saw them in their costumes. They're three spider characters only in like visions the bad guy was having.
Yeah, that was
only
a
for
little
a couple of
disappointing.
seconds, man. That's all you saw. That kind of let me down. But yeah, what did you guys think of it? What did you think of it, Noc?
Really enjoyed the money I saved not seeing it.
Right, I'm sure you do. Noc?
I enjoyed it. I actually liked the movie. I actually dug it. I wanted to see more Sydney Sweeney more than anything else. I like Dakota Johnson, but I was all Sydney Sweeney in this one.
Well, Sydney Sweeney's playing my favorite character out of this whole damn story. Her version of Spider-Woman.
If they do a spinoff and it's just her, then I'm fine with that. Like,
yeah.
The other one.
Wait, you knew who these goddamn characters were? I had to go googling.
Zeke, maybe you don't know this about me. I'm a Spider-Man freak. Okay, I do know who these people are. Yes.
Yeah. See, I have no background in any of this stuff, so the whole lore accurate stuff that I didn't care about any of that. Make no difference to me because I don't know any of it. So just take it. The movie's about a bad guy who had a bad dream, and it's just so. And that's why he's after the girls. So I don't know. I felt like the bad guy was kind of meh. I'm sure there are folks out there that'll be this is another man being the bad guy thing. But I don't know. The movie. What I liked about this movie is it wasn't full of men hating comments.
When does it take place?
In the 90s.
Gosh.
It's in the 90s. They have tape cassettes. They have this is in the past, or like early 2000s, something like that.
Actually,
this when they're teenagers. These girls are teenagers.
And I didn't catch it in the movie, but I've heard that the baby that's born in it is actually Peter Parker.
I saw that too. Yeah, because they refer to him as Uncle Ben.
Yeah,
I was like, holy crap!
Everyone has said they're contractually not allowed to say who it is.
Right.
And thank God, because if this movie is as big of a trash fire as everyone's saying, and in all respect to Noc, who enjoyed it, if the movie is what other people like Dakota Johnson is saying it is, God help this Sony Spider-Verse without a Spider-Man. Please get yourself a Spider-Man. Let's not have it be this one who's just been born. Let's not make him the Tom Holland one or any Spider-Man we know of. Let's have this story just go away.
Considering Emma Roberts, the actress playing the pregnant character, is playing a pregnant Mary Parker, who is Peter Parker's mom. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
Right, but we can multiverse this story and just pretend it never happened. We really can.
Yeah.
Not acknowledge it. You know what I mean? And that's
the TVA
good and
this
the
one out
bad.
in Deadpool.
With the TVA, everything's possible, right? They can prune whatever they need to.
Which is something I really hate about Loki and the TVA.
Well, it makes and this is one thing. Now, Noc, tell me what you think about this. One thing that kind of lowered the stakes in this movie is you were seeing what happened and then she would change it. So it kind of just, there was no stakes, kind of, really. You know what I mean?
I felt like that's what made her so strong.
Yeah. Well, that's great. But I mean,
now to make it clear, I guess people don't know this. She has in the movie a different version of Spider Sense where she has like in It's sort of like Hitchhiker's Guide. She has danger-sensitive lenses in her glasses. She can see a little bit limited time into the future, and this is very helpful until it's not when she loses her eyes. Did I get that right?
Yeah, you got that right. But there was some silly stuff in there, like that final scene. What
was
is that?
silly.
A
What I just said was pretty dumb.
Yeah, it was, no, I agree with you. The thing I thought was dumb was it was a fireworks warehouse, right? Noc, did I see that right?
It was like a depot for like explosives and shit for
Okay.
whatever reason.
Okay, all right, okay, that makes sense then, because it looked like fireworks to me. And
Yeah, there was they said it in the thing. Yeah, there's a lot of explosives in that building when they went there the first time.
Well, what I thought was weird was one of the fireworks went flying and hit a wall and blew it to pieces, and I was like, oh, okay, shit, that's some heavy duty stuff they got there. You know what I mean? I was kind of shocked that it blew a whole wall down. You know, but yeah, I mean, it just made it kind of, you know, lessened the stakes of it. You know what I mean? But on the flip side of that coin, they got to do some really gruesome shit. I mean, you saw them die in gruesome ways, like that cafe.
Yeah, he was smashed
the cafe
scene.
scene. That dude was wrecking the place. But you know, and she changed all of that. You know, that's what I'm saying. It kind of lessened the stakes of it.
Now,
I'm hoping that if it does continue.
All right,
I'm sorry.
T, one at a time. Noc, go.
I'm hoping that if this does continue, right? Because the unfortunate part about all these movies that have been coming out is that they're all origin stories, right? They never make it past the origin story phase. So after they suck and they bomb, they don't make another one. So we never get the better stories because all the stories are being wasted on the origin stories. So if this one continues, if this story continues, I hope that, you know, they take that ability, Joe, and she makes a massive mistake.
Yeah.
Because that's got to be the other side of it. There has to be
something, an Achilles heel, right? Yeah.
When you're someone that powerful, you make bigger mistakes. You know, so that's how it.
Aren't there 2 Venoms? Right? Isn't there a sequel to Venom? We've gotten 1 sequel from these people.
Yeah, Carnage. Yeah, Carnage.
Okay. Was it a little bit better?
There's going to be a 3rd one later this year.
Yep.
Yeah.
Will it have we'll have the same actor. We'll have Tom Hardy.
Yeah, it will.
Yeah, Tom Hardy's in it. Yep.
Yeah.
So my
got
question
Craven coming out too.
Yeah,
that looks okay, but was Venom 2 less bad? Because a lot of people didn't like Venom 1.
I think it was the same. It was kind of mid, but I think so far I think it was fine, but it was.
Let me get to this comment by Wookie. Madam Web passed the great great responsibility line to Ben, so she created Spider-Man. Yes, but I noticed that, and it was backwards. It was something like, if you take the responsibility, you'll get great power, is what it was, and it made me go, "What the fuck? What in the hell, man?"
They always have to slip that in there somewhere.
Yeah, but it was
some variation.
It made no sense the way they said it. I was like,
well, they're never going to want to make it the same thing. They don't want to just be seen as copies.
Well, they may not be able to either.
That too.
But I mean, I especially like Sweeney's character. Her character in the comic books is cool as shit. She's a spy for the government at one point in the books. You know. But I just, you know, it seemed like an extended CW episode. That's the feel I got from it. I mean,
my turn.
They spent the special effects budget on the underwater scenes. It looked like to me when she was underwater. You know, that was the extent of the money they spent on it. And I don't know, man. It just seems like I could have watched that on television. And so, you know, let's see. I like Venom 1 the most, then Morbin, and then Venom 2. I liked Morbius. Now, you guys can laugh at me all you want. I dug Morbin time, man. I thought that was a cool movie.
Didn't see that one, so I'm willing to say it could be all right.
I
Jared Leto, not a lot of luck.
Yeah, don't about it either.
He's a very unlucky comics actor, isn't he? His Joker wasn't too good, and this Morbius thing is.
Oh God, he doesn't. Yeah,
that wasn't his fault.
Alabama Hillbilly's right though. Like
it's not his fault.
that means that this movie's like 51%.
Kind of like Pedro Pascal in 1984. That's not his fault. You know, that it's the filmmakers, it's the writers and the directors.
It's the casting director. You know,
the guy is a great actor.
Yeah, whoever's putting this stuff together.
You know, I just want to say, as far as the Madam Web goes, the two plot details that I heard that really blew my mind were, one, she can't, like, although the movie sides with the idea that she's supposed to be the extremely caring, the most caring person ever, the reality is she can't be bothered to protect these people. She wants to get rid of the other Spider Women, and that her plan to protect them is to abandon them in the woods.
Yeah,
well,
that's true. That's true. Oh my God!
No,
okay,
she
I just want to call that infantile right now. That is infantile writing. That's infantile.
A lot of it was silly, Noc. You have to admit, a lot of it was silly. Well, let me ask you this: if you drive a taxi cab into a cafe and fuck up the front of it, would you continue to drive it the rest of the movie, or do you think you might find a new set of wheels?
I don't know.
We'd be looking all over for that fucking car, man.
She runs him down a couple of times, right?
If she took off the license plate, how long is that going to last in New York City where you can't move for an hour?
That car is still parked wherever they left it. You don't give up a spot like that.
Some of it was silly. You got to admit, some of it was silly as shit, bro. It really was. But as far as the acting goes, the girls were fine. This is not their fault. No doubt. I mean, that people aren't going to see this. Some of the dialogue is just cringeworthy. But yeah, I dug the visions of the chicks, though. But this is the first part of it. But apparently, because of how bad it's doing at the box office,
that's what
Madam Web's collapse. Forget about the new franchise. The flop is wiping out an entire plan for new movie series, as the studio becomes the latest superhero studio in need of a pivot. I think they're overreacting on that. This is one movie. Canceled, yeah. This is one movie.
They canceled some cartoon called Silk as well today, and they blamed.
Oh, they canceled Silk.
Okay,
that's what was said today.
Hold it. Teague, you've got to do me a favor. Stop right now. Okay, we're going to get to that next. I have an article on that, and it has not been killed. You're overstating that. It has not been killed.
I actually said that's what was being said. That was the headline.
Being said was, I'll go ahead and jump forward to that real quick since you wanted to bring that up. Hang on, let me get the article up here. Silk Spider Society Writers Room paused at Amazon. It's paused. The showrunner is actually the girl that saw the last 4 seasons of Walking Dead, where they brought on all the chick characters and had everything to do with girls, and they wiped out my man Rick Grimes. Yeah. That's the same chick that's running this, and they put the stop to it after what was going on with this. You jumped the gun on me, too. Sorry, buddy.
Sorry about that. Just real quick, maybe this needed some work anyway, and they're just like, look at that car wreck over there. It's Madam Web's fault. You know what I mean? There may be no connectivity. This seems organically created. Once we bought a projects canceled because of Madam Web, I was like, and this one,
right? But I think they're overreacting to this. And you can go read this article on a Hollywood Reporter. But this is one movie. The Venom franchise has been successful. It has been successful financially for them.
Yeah,
and
financially.
People love those Venom movies. Okay, Morbius did not do well. This one has not done well. I think how Craven does is going to have more to say about this, because they are the reason why you're seeing Silk get paused. That television show, which I was kind of looking forward to because I love the character of Silk. I think you're seeing that because this is a continuation of the pendulum swinging back, man. The correction is happening right here in front of us, man. If you look at this article down here, you could actually see at some point in real time, you could see people getting refunds on their tickets before they went to see the movie. It's just, that's how bad this is going over. But I think that's just this one. I mean, it's on. You're talking about superhero movies. Who is the marketplace for superhero movies? It's guys. It's guys. And they're learning their lesson now about making these female-driven superhero shows. You know, they're learning their lesson. And I don't think they're going to. Sony's definitely not going to give up on the Spider-Verse. That's for fucking sure, because that's their foothold into superhero movies. You know?
No, but
go ahead.
Midnight said more women went to see John Rambo as a percentage of the audience than went to see Madam Web.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that should just say it all.
Yeah. It's, you know.
No.
But
I
or
think,
Last Blood. Perhaps
I think Kraven the Hunter is going to do better.
I think it is too.
Because Aaron Taylor Johnson has a built-in following like Jason Momoa does. Not quite as big, but he has one.
He does have a following. He's got his female fans, doesn't he? Yeah, no doubt about it. But I really hope he's the next James Bond too. There's talk that he may be the next James Bond, and I hope he is. But yeah, I think this article is an overreaction. I don't think, they paused it because they're seeing that, you know, once again, you can't recreate what they did with Barbie. You can't. Okay. Barbie was specifically for females, and females went to see it in droves. They drugged their husbands to it. You know what I'm saying? But it was not made for this panel. It was made for girls, and it made over $1 billion. You know, they did it right.
If I may, are they overreacting, or are they knowingly scapegoating this movie that the stars have abandoned? Because the stars seem to be walking away pretty hard, right?
Yeah,
so
really
this
hard.
movie it's a Viking.
Totally, yeah.
Yeah, and this $31 million is about the best of a Viking funeral as this movie's going to get. Next week, it's making $10 million, probably 20 at best. So this movie's not making its money back. It's a disaster. It's on fire right now. It's not going to be fixed. There's no fixing this. So why not just anything else? Just like it's Madam Web, it's Madam Web, it's Madam Web. I don't know if they're exaggerating it or overreacting, or if they're like had already been thinking, and then Madam Web snaps everything into focus. So like, this is all girl boss nonsense. Let's just take a minute here and breathe and try to release something a little less adversarial. Because it seems like they made the same mistakes again. While Noc said it wasn't filled with man-hating stuff,
no,
we did have sort of like a rather vanilla, for lack of a better word, Uncle Ben, who just kind of hangs out in the woods with the people, right? Reassuring them that they won't be hacked to death or something. I don't think
he wasn't a part of that.
He wasn't in the woods with them.
Wasn't part of that. Okay.
She drops them off. Well, doesn't drop them off.
Well, she goes to the Amazonian.
She has to go to the Amazon, and she needs somebody to watch these girls because they don't have a home to go to. All three of these girls, conveniently, this is another thing that kind of chapped my ass. All three of these girls have no parents, and they're living in New York City without any parents, and they're teenagers.
So not only do we ride down the bad guy with a vehicle twice after we know it doesn't hurt him the first time, we also have replicated the backstory, like in Rise of Skywalker. We can't explain Finn. Let's have hundreds of Finns.
That's it.
I did some checking, and it looks like this is already going to go to streaming at the beginning of May.
Yeah, that's you know. That's how most
Dakota
of the
Johnson is.
I mean, that's not. I mean,
I don't think the cast is going to be hurt. I think that they'll be hurt to some degree, but I think that this movie might just go away. And if Sony is smart, they'll just be like, this didn't go so well to the point that we know no one's coming back, really. And we just let's just like multiverse away from this, because it doesn't touch on much else. I don't think you see Venom
away from it, though. This is the thing. They can actually do a movie. I don't want them to. I want a Sydney Sweeney movie. Like Noc said, I want to see that chick in a movie by herself.
Looking like that.
I do.
I want to see.
If they put her in the suit, it's going to be an older version.
She's a teenager in this movie, bro. I'm talking about when she's an adult.
This one is
why hire her in the first place for that role? You know what I mean?
Well, because
it seems ridiculous. I said the same thing about Colin Farrell in Batman, so I want to be, I want to be fair.
Yeah.
It didn't make sense. There was someone who looked like that who could have played that role very well. Bob Hoskins is still alive.
Hey, man, I think she
did with that role.
Go ahead, Noc. What were you saying?
There's nothing wrong that she did with that role.
No, not at all. No,
They may have
no.
nerfed her, but I mean, it was to make her 15. You know,
Yeah,
I,
she was
pointless.
15
I
years
don't
old.
blame them for nerfing her because she's 24 years old.
I'm going to blame them for hiring
She's in
someone
the
to
prime
nerf.
of her life right now.
Yeah.
You know what? Why? It almost seems like they didn't want her to go be pretty somewhere else. I just don't understand why they would
Well,
hire
I think
that. There are people who look like the one they wanted. It's not her first movie. She had a movie come out on a couple months
You
ago.
didn't hear my
but it's
word.
They were
overperforming.
planning on doing other movies with these
Yeah,
people.
this is
That's
the
why they
origin.
hired her, man. Come on,
Yeah.
dig.
It seems laughable with what happened. So okay, I mean, yeah,
They're planning on
fine.
doing another movie with her in it, and
Trust
she's
They
a
didn't go into
bankable
this-
star. You know?
they didn't go into this. Oh, we know it's going to bomb, so we're just wasting her character on this.
Right.
Well, we found out she's bankable from her other movie, right? The rom-com that's overperforming. Yeah. What is it? 200. It made 200.
Oh, you
okay.
mean the
already.
love story that came out during Valentine's? Yes, it's doing okay. God, come on.
How much did this freaking
Come
thing
on.
cost, though? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, wait. It made money. We can't say that at all about Madam Web. Madam Web is going to put the studio in a tough place.
But I
And,
like
some of these things are gonna be
what
recalled.
it's doing though. It's making them. I don't think they have to cash it in. I think they just need to pivot with what the motivations are for these characters going forward. You know what I'm saying?
People have spoken with their wallets. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. They've got to change it up, right? They can do that with dude. We've seen stuff bounce back in the past before. Look, the argument could be said. Yeah, the first Star Trek movie, put it in terms you'll understand. The first Star Trek movie was not the greatest Star Trek movie of all time. Matter of fact, I'd say 1/3 of that movie was just special effects, right?
But it's the highest grossing movie of that year.
It made a huge amount of money because everybody was starved for Star Trek. We know that. But when they got the criticisms, what did they do? They bounced back with Wrath of Khan, a much better Star Trek movie.
They listen to the fans. They listen to the fans.
So
here's the thing, though. Star Trek 1 was at least a concept worthy of the show. People weren't balking and offended and shocked.
Right.
It was maybe a little too cerebral. This movie's problem is it's an amalgam of other characters who've been substantially changed and have no identity of their own. All three of them have the same origin tale. We're doing the same thing over and over. Our plan to be safe is to say, I want nothing to do with this and leave people in the woods. You're not origining a good character. Doesn't the spider kid get born like magically too? They bite her and that's it. She gives birth and then she shows up somewhere else. She's like she can speak English and she just shows up in America. Like they miracle her out of the Amazon too. I mean, a lot of this is just purely dumb.
She went through the adoption system.
Is that in the movie?
She was in the she's
in the movie.
Who brought her to the adoption system?
She was in the what do they call it? Foster care. This is what she was in. Yeah.
Who brought her? The spider people who live in the Amazon?
Yeah, the spider people did. They can function outside of the forest. They just choose not to.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's still.
But you'd have to see the movie, Teague. You'd have to see the movie.
Yeah, it sounds pretty wacky, and I don't think that I think
you're taking too many sources from outside of a movie that you didn't watch.
You didn't see,
abandoning
people
in the middle of the night.
People in the Amazon aren't the problem with this movie. I can tell you that right now. They were pretty cool. Those characters.
Right, let's not split hairs. There's a lot of things about this movie that no one's going to be happy about.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The writers of the web have never left the house and need to start digging ditches to be productive in society.
If you look at their other movies, they're all failures.
Well, look, man, Venom movies aren't failures. They aren't. You can't say they are.
I'm not talking about Sony. I'm talking about the writers and producers of Madam Web.
They're part of this franchise. They are part of this franchise, brother.
Yeah, they're part of the same universe. They're Spider-Verse.
Same universe. So, you can't say the whole thing's a failure. It's not.
I didn't say that. I said the writers.
Not a failure. Spider-Man's not a failure.
I said that. I'm saying that S.J. Clarkson, Matt Sazama, Burke Sharples, and Claire Parker have never made a good movie. That's what I'm saying.
Now, I'm
not saying there are no good Sony movies.
That's personal opinion. But yeah, the list is not good. They have not made very good stuff. No doubt.
I would say
their movies are The Defenders, Life on Mars, Anatomy of a Scandal, unaired Game of Thrones prequel pilot from 2019, Succession, Collateral, Love Nina, Vinyl. It's nothing here. Orange is the New Black. Last thing they get. One episode of Turn, Washington Spies. That was a good show. I like that. But I mean, aside from that, there's nothing good in SJ, whatever SJ Clarkson's IMDb.
Yeah, I know.
And if I look over here at let's check out Burke Sharples. He sounds like a real genius. Burke Sharples known for Morbius.
Pig, please, you're killing me with all this. All right, listen.
Power Rangers was
all
okay.
I said was they don't have to completely trash all this stuff. They can change course, and that's what they appear to be doing. That's all.
They might have to trash this movie. That's the only thing I would say.
Well, hey, we're probably going to see one or two of these characters again. May not see them all, but we probably will down the line. Were you going to say something, John?
Yeah, I'll defend S.J. Clarkson on the Defenders.
She did the Defenders?
Yeah.
Really, for Netflix?
Yeah. She also did Jessica Jones. She also did some episodes of Jessica Jones.
Okay. All right. Cool.
I think a lot of at least the superhero fatigue, I can see part of that being a thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's all going to depend on what happens after Deadpool 3.
Yeah.
Deadpool 3 is going to bring a lot of eyes. It's going to be, if that doesn't make a bill, I'll be surprised.
Yeah.
They need to keep any reshoots secret.
You think it's going to make 2, John?
Wow.
Really?
So,
wow, that's
in that case, like, what do they do after that? We know Deadpool's going to do good. I mean, if it doesn't, then it's like, I don't know. That wouldn't make sense to me. I'm definitely going to see it. But if that doesn't pull a bill, right, what are you going to do after it? That's the thing. Like, what is Disney going to do after it? Because they know it's going to do well. And it did well because Disney didn't have much to do with it. So, because there's Ryan Reynolds' baby, So
that's the thing that worries me, though. This thing is sitting around, and we have a bunch of cooks with nothing to do. I think they're going to get their hands on it.
No,
Ryan Reynolds has basically said he would walk if that happened.
I was fixing to say
there's no way.
They don't want to piss this guy off because they know everybody wants to go see him in this role. Dude, there was no clearer message sent than in the trailer at the beginning of it when he sees the guys outside with the sticks. He said, whoa. Peg is not new to me, guys, but it is to Disney.
Yeah, I mean, that was funny. The fourth wall breaking was shown. The fourth wall breaking was shown to work. Look, it could work. It could work. Will it save the whole MCU?
Yeah,
it could.
If anyone
could, it would be this Deadpool movie.
Yeah, and Wookie makes a good point. Deadpool is outside the MCU. It's just a Deadpool movie. That is true. All of these Deadpool movies.
They're bringing them together. This movie's coming into the MCU. He says, I am MCU Jesus.
Okay, you guys are just going to talk over me the whole time, right? When I'm speaking, shush. Friggin' the first 2 movies basically are outside the MCU. You don't see anybody else from the MCU in it. And the ones you do see, they're from the Fox X-Men stories. They're not from the MCU. Okay? So that's what he's saying. Now, Disney's going to use him to change the MCU as we see it now. That is a smart play by them because it's a popular character that was outside the MCU being brought into it now. So, Disney won't release an R-rated movie. I got news for you. They kind of have to. They kind of have to.
Why don't they release it as Fox then? Release it as Fox. They own Fox. Release it under the Fox name.
I think what was Teague? Help me out here. What was the studio they used to use for R-rated movies?
Touchstone.
Was it Touchstone?
Touchstone.
I think it was Touchstone Pictures. I think
was it Touchstone or Buena Vista?
Buena Vista was the one for I think sci-fi. I think Black Hole's Buena Vista. Touchstone comes later. I believe, is it Scenes from the Class Struggles or Down and Out in Beverly Hills? I'm a little fuzzy on the title. We had 2 very similar titled movies that year. One of them's the first Touchstone movie. I think it's Scenes from the Class Struggle in Beverly Hills with Nick Nolte.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a Trading Places-ish kind of movie.
Oh, yeah. Down and Out in Beverly Hills. Yeah. The homeless guy, right? Yeah.
Which is a riff on an Orwell title. So I don't know, but I think that is the first Touchstone movie. With Rebecca Shaver.
Maniac. I'm the ultimate cat herder, man. It's what I am, dude. But anyway, I just this last one, the Silk story, is I like to hear that, because if they're putting a pause on it, that means they're having to rethink what they're doing because of what happened to this show. So, I hope Silk does well. When they do release it, if they're going to. I mean, it's paused. That's kind of language for we don't know what we're going to do with this thing. But I hope it does come out. Who the hell knows? But I'm definitely looking forward to an R-rated Deadpool movie. I don't think you can make a Deadpool movie and it not be R-rated. So.
Oh, and I heard that Wolverine's in it. So
yeah, I heard. Yeah, that little tidbit there. Yeah, and that'll. You want to talk about something? You want to talk about something that'll bring the women to the theater? Put Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman in the same fucking
the greatest
movie?
show ever. Yeah.
I mean, all you got to do is add Jason Momoa to that mix, and you're going to have every chick in America going to see that movie. And
Ryan Gosling. Let's put Ryan Gosling in there.
Right, put Ryan Gosling in there too.
Are we all prepared to say that we don't think that there's anyone in that studio who has the capacity to be as insane as to drive Ryan Reynolds off and make this movie fail just to achieve something else? Does anyone really want to say that yet? So many cooks.
There's no way they could do that.
What do Idle Hands do? I mean, what else do they have to do this year? When's the next Marvel movie after this? Madam Web kind of doesn't count because even though it's Marvel, it's Sony MCU.
They're already working on other stuff. I mean, they're still trying to. They're still massively redoing the Captain America movie. Hell, they've changed the title.
Yeah, they got to replan after the whole
2025 now. That's not this year. That movie is kicked in February to 2025. It's kicked from this year. So
I said there's only one.
That's bad news.
I said there's only one movie coming out this year from the MCU.
They've also retooled. They're also retooling Thunderbolts.
Yep. They're redoing everything because they know after the
Marvels,
they figured out, hey, we can't be doing this anymore, man. We got to take a different direction. So
they officially dropped the King name in the movie, so it's not going to be Dicey King.
Yeah, he's gone.
Right. That's why I have to keep saying, if there are any reshoots for this Deadpool movie, they had better be kept top secret because their stock is going to start dropping if there's any doubt in this movie. There is so much riding on the only MCU Disney movie this year that's going to be in theaters. The rest of this stuff is streaming stuff. And really, to me, the bad news is this. You got to look back and rewind through a couple of these stupid fucking shows to have context on the TVA. You're going to have to go through at least season 2 of horrible fucking Loki.
See, now that right there,
I don't agree with you on that one. Is it?
Yeah, that's what that's Noc's thing.
That's my view.
Okay. I'm going to say
there doesn't have to be concurrence on this one.
You done, sir? Mr. T?
I'm just not going to concur on Loki. That's all. I mean, it's cool to like it. To scapegoat me as though to say I was bagging on people who like the show. That's wrong. I'm saying I felt season 2 is horrible. And no one wants to get into objective debate, but there's such gaps in that logic, we could drive a truck through them.
Yeah, well, I'm not a purist when it comes to time travel stories and stuff like that. I'm not really that kind of guy. But
really that.
I do hope that when they do the Deadpool movie, they will have some kind of recap so people don't have to go back and watch everything that happened in those shows. You know what I'm saying? That would be nice. That's my biggest problem with this whole streaming thing, especially with the MCU, is that you had to watch this to understand that and do all this homework and stuff. And I'm just not a fan of that.
And what sucks is, they changed the way they want, and they wanted this to be stuff that you watched in between movies, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the way they did it the best, in my opinion, and it's a shame that they took it out of canon, was Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. wasn't what you watched in between just because it was more story. It was the effects of the movies caused what's happened in the show.
Mm-hmm.
So you didn't have to watch the next movie to know what's going on. You didn't have to watch the TV show to watch the next movie. You watch the,
Right.
the TV show because of the movies,
Right.
and so the story in the TV
Right.
show was predicated just on the movies itself. Nothing in the TV show was predicated, or none of the movies were predicated on.
In other words, the water went downhill from the movies
Right.
to the TV shows. Now they
It's
want
all up.
it
Yeah.
to go uphill to the movies, and it's
And you have to watch it. That's the one thing I'll agree with when it comes to shows like Loki. When it comes to if you didn't watch WandaVision before Doctor Strange, that had to be the most confusing thing ever.
Yeah, it had to have been. You know, I watched it because it was the first Marvel show. You know, and I thought it was cool at the beginning, but then, man, it faded at the end of it. It really did.
Yeah, I think from what I gather from watching the Deadpool trailer a couple of times, I don't think you're going to have to know Loki in the TVA. I think this is a whole different TVA.
Well, it's got Olsen in it, so I don't know. It's not too different.
No, the TVA. I think. I'm sorry. I had heard what Das Wolfman was saying as well. That this is what we're going to do now. Is there's going to be an outright admission that there are two different MCUs, right? So the Fox one is going to have an identity sort of its own, right? So all these Fox things will have happened in its own world on another planet where they have an like it's Earth 1.1. It's almost exactly the same.
Multiverse, right? Yeah.
But they have a TVA too, who maybe has another leader, and so what's going to happen is their TVA, the Fox TVA, will take on the Disney TVA,
and then we're going to have Avengers versus X-Men.
It's all set up to make no sense. Like
TVA v TVA.
I give you again the Terminator 2 analogy. If your story has time travel and it is a good story, people won't care. If your story is about time travel, you're going to run into problems, you're going to make mistakes, and people are going to keep saying, well, why didn't you just rewind time again? Because no time travel story makes sense once you can rewind time.
Yeah. So we're going to have that Spider-Man meme where it's like, instead of Spider-Man, it's TVA agent, TVA agent, TVA agent. Like, yeah, they're all pointing at each other.
That would be a great meme. like
Melted Coppers.
3 minutes.
Yeah, right. Melted Copper says, yeah, people hate the Clone Saga, but that sold books. Make a Ben Reilly film. Yeah, I'm with you on that one, man. The Clone Saga, I always liked the Scarlet Spider. I liked him. I even like the one in the Ultimate Spider-Verse. That was my favorite version of Spider-Woman. It was a gender bent Peter Parker. It was a chick that had all the memories of being Peter Parker and all that stuff, but it was a female. You know what I mean? It was a pretty cool character. She ended up being the Black Widow in the Ultimate comic area there. It was pretty cool. Let's see what else we got here. Old Wanda murdering folks. Yeah,
she is a little red rum and kidnapping and false imprisonment happy, isn't she? And then for them to say they'll never know what you sacrificed, while we're all like, put her in jail. She put her in a military prison. She's not a witch. She's a mutant. You can take her.
Wookie says, wait until the Mando movie. They have never had the viewership for a movie. Yeah, well,
I think it's gonna stream. I predict it streams.
I think they're gonna put something Star Wars in the theater eventually. I don't know when.
Nelson Peltz presents Gina Carano in Star Wars: A New Beginning.
I can't wait to meet her next month.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun, and I guarantee you, she's probably a sweetheart, dude. I mean, she seems pretty cool.
I gotta find like a shirt that says Gina Carano, I support you, or something like that.
Something like that. Yes,
like I said, we need to make Batman an American again. Melton Copper. 2 of 3 Batmen are British, not working out. James Bond, no one would handle an American Bond. It would not be tolerated. Make Batman an American again.
I want to see Andrew Taylor Johnson playing. That's who I want to see.
I would like to see Sony go and make Andrew Garfield their official Spider-Man and make him cool and make him brave and make him admirable and enjoyable and give him good writers for a movie we can enjoy, because people got behind him and a lot of people loved his portrayal of Peter Parker, and he has his own little continuity that's not that at odds with the MCU yet. Let's just send him back and have a real Spider-Man for this Sony Spider-Verse without a Spider-Man. We need him. There's a big hole in this universe, and it's the named titular character. What are they calling this? The Venomverse, right?
No,
Isn't that what it is?
No. It's the Spider-Verse. It's the
It's
Spider-Verse.
the Spider-Man verse. Yeah, it's crazy. They need to get Andrew Garfield. It seems like he sort of stole a lot of people's hearts without stealing the movie.
Absolutely, man. And I've been saying that
Goodwill.
forever. They need at least one more Andrew Garfield Spider-Man movie. They really do.
I'm so glad I am so glad that I went back and before I watched the No Way Home. I think that's the one with all three of them, right?
Yeah, it is. No Way Home.
I actually went back and watched both the Toby Keith ones and the Andrew Garfield. I never watched the Andrew Garfield ones before.
Really?
Before I decided to watch them before going to see it, and man, it makes a huge difference. And Emma Stone is a babe, and I really like her.
Dude,
but
you understand why it's such an emotional moment when he saves MJ.
If
right?
you don't see the Amazing Spider-Man movie,
you don't know how big that is. Yeah,
you definitely appreciate it so much more. So I thought it was really cool.
Now,
it's just messed up that the best moment of TASM happened in another movie in another franchise with just their actor borrowed with better writers, because Alex Kurtzman can't write a fucking movie or a story. TASM was a terrible story. It was a great portrayal by a good actor doing a great job, who we sometimes really get behind. And like I said, he stole our hearts without stealing that movie. Very, very fine-tuned, perfect use of him. We've seen that he can be great. Just set him loose as a really good Spider-Man and have fun with him, and then do these other characters, and people will have more goodwill.
Yeah, they will. Absolutely. I'm with you on that, Teague. I got to tell you, as a Spider-Man fan,
that's read a lot of the books here. All right.
Yeah. Really, what you just said, I agree with 100%. But I have to tell you, the second Spider-Man movie, I didn't like it all. I don't ever watch it anymore. I thought it was complete trash. But the only thing that got right was how
second Kurtzman.
The only thing they got right. I don't know who wrote that movie. I don't care. All I know it was.
Well, which of the three Spider-Man continuities? And you know what I mean. Raimi has 3.
Yeah. I'm talking about the Amazing Spider-Man with Andrew Garfield.
2.
Okay,
right. The second one
I'm talking about. Listen
that
to
was
me
my
for a second.
confusion.
Yeah, okay. That's where we're at. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Spider-Man 2
I
could
thought
mean
we were
3
still on the Andrew Garfield train.
We're not. But Spider-Man 2 has 3 meanings.
Okay, I'm sorry. I apologize. Now, let me tell you. We're talking about Andrew Garfield. That second one with the new Goblin in it, and Jamie Foxx as just a horrible version of Electro and all that stuff. You want to talk about somebody that turned a character around? Jamie Foxx did that in No Way Home too. He made that right.
You were immediately happy to see the way he looked. Yes,
absolutely. I mean, but this is the deal. The only thing that was good about that movie was the part where Gwen Stacy died. That's exactly frame for frame how she died in the comic book. He killed her by trying to save her and broke her back trying to catch her. But the first one, though, I tell you this, I've always said that if you took, and this is from a Spider-Man fan, because his first villain that he fought in Spider-Man, the Amazing Spider-Man comic books, was the Lizard. Okay. And his first girlfriend was Gwen Stacy. I understood why in the Tobey Maguire's one they put MJ in there. They probably, they thought for sure they were going to make a lot of money with it, but they didn't know, so they wanted to put all the best aspects of Spider-Man in there. And his longest love story is MJ. But the Captain Stacy part and the Gwen Stacy part in the first one, if you took the part where he gets dropped off at the library and the conversation he has with Uncle Ben, from that part all the way through to where the cops try and catch him after the dude falls out the window, right there, that little bit where he becomes Spider-Man in the beginning of it, and you insert it into Amazing Spider-Man with Andrew Garfield, the first one, make that the origin story, you would have had this perfect Spider-Man movie. It would have been perfect. Now, Amazing Spider-Man, they had to change the origin a little bit, but, I really liked Amazing Spider-Man, the first one with Andy Garfield. The only thing I didn't like about it was they made him kind of a, skateboarding nerd, which kind of was weird to me. But I dug the first one.
Real quick on TASM. When you're done, real quick on TASM. Anyone wants to chime in, go ahead. I don't want to.
Garfield definitely needs a redemption story
Mm-hmm.
from his Spider-Man to make up for. Now, granted, that was a great moment, and that helped make stuff up, but he needs to have a whole character arc, not just a moment.
Right, because the first one was good. The second one, wow, that was bad. And
yeah,
it didn't matter who was in that movie. It was going to be garbage. It really was. It was bad. It was just bad writing, period. You know, Noc, what do you got there, bro?
Go put me in coach, and it's
Gotcha.
just 7 seconds is all I'm showing.
Okay.
All right. I'd blow it up, but I think well, we'll see what happens.
There you go.
This is Lego Spider-Man, the death of Gwen Stacy.
No way. You got sound?
Yeah. Man, it looks kind of bad.
Oh no!
I liked it. That was cute. That was cute.
What I think. That's what I think about. That's what I think of. Here,
I gotta. This is my the problem.
A little small, but yeah. If I blow it up, it looks like crap. So that's what I was thinking about when we talked about the death scene. Yeah. I always think that they consider wrong with blowing her apart.
You know, for a science nerd, Peter didn't understand physics at all.
No, he didn't understand physics very well. Go ahead, T.
TASM 2. TASM 2. This is what I think happened. As you all said, TASM 1 is a little better. I think that what happened is Alex Kurtzman and Robert Orci stopped working together, and we only get one of them for TASM 2. So, I do not believe that movie was sincerely trying to go for a Spider-Man 3. I think they wanted to get rid of Spider-Man altogether, and their next movie be Spider-Gwen, because that's always been the method of that team. But that's my opinion.
Yeah.
It wasn't about
my
two.
opinion.
It wasn't until a minute ago that I realized that he was saying TASM and what it stood for, because I had no fucking idea what he was talking about when he said it like the past 10
The
times.
Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah, I got it now, but yeah, he kept saying it. I was like, "Is this another Spider-Man movie? I don't get what the hell." Is
Keep up with the acronyms here, sir.
I never heard of refer to it as that.
Tross. Anyone confused by that one?
What is it?
Does everyone know what Tross is? John, you want to tell him?
Tross? Don't know what
John
Tross is.
Tross is the rise of Skywalker.
Oh
well.
Oh my god!
Why?
You ever heard?
Oh yeah, well, you know what KOTOR is?
Trash would be the rise of Skywalker.
KOTOR is Knights of the Old Republic.
Yeah, so not everyone knows.
KOTOR is Knights of the Old, and TOS is
that's the only one I know.
The original series.
If you say KOTOR, that's the one I know out loud.
Star Trek TOS is the original series. Star Trek TNG is the Next Generation. Star Trek VOY is Void. There's something for so people pronounce. Have been pronouncing TASM for a pretty long time. I thought it was known.
Yeah.
Sorry, didn't mean to confuse anyone.
No, you're good. You're good. You're good. I knew what you were saying. I knew what.
But that's what I'm saying. Like when someone says Spider-Man 2, you got to be like, wait a minute, which one? You know?
Yeah, right. There's been three
we're in a big river.
I feel like just saying an Amazing Spider-Man is a good enough differential.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But we said I only heard Spider-Man 3. So
I get what he said. I'm just saying in the future.
Mm-hmm. Yep. But anyway, I personally, when it comes right down to it, Madam Web has a lot of holes in it, and it's okay. It's not a hate-worthy movie. I think you had 3 teenage girls, which was, oh my god, the estrogen was pouring out of the screen at some points. It was just, but yeah, I think that it's viable to use Web in the future. First of all, Madam Web really doesn't have a backstory in the comic books, so they could have done anything they wanted to with her. You know what I mean? When we first meet her, she's an old woman, you know? So we'll probably see that character down the line at some point. But the one I really want to see is Sweeney's character. That's the one I want to see. I'm sorry, Teague, what'd you say?
She's only 51 now. I did the math. There's no way for her to truly be old. She's the same age as Jennifer Connelly. I mean, no, it's not going to work. I've seen how Dakota Johnson looks. Time should probably be kind.
Right. Well, we put her on the shelf for about a decade. She'd be in her 60s then. And we could give her white hair. And she
Melanie
looks just
Griffith,
like
her mother, is aging very well.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. I'm a fan of Dakota Johnson, though. I really want to see her do well, man. I do. I'm a big fan of her parents. I'm actually a big fan of both of Melanie's husbands, Don Johnson and Antonio Banderas.
I wonder if they get along.
I don't know.
And if they've ever worked together before, like in a freakish way, it's like we don't know it, but like some point in some obscure episode of Miami Vice, he arrests Antonio. He's like, "Here's that Cuban kingpin we've been looking for. Come on with me, Don Juan." You know what I mean? They handcuffs him, and who knows?
Secret War. I'm not sure if she was in Secret War. I'm not sure, man. Really don't know. Like I said, I read a lot of I didn't read a lot of the crossovers. The only crossovers I ever read were the ones that had to do specifically with Spider-Man. So, I mean, and that one right there, it was everybody in the Marvel universe was in that one. So,
I think you said it all. They picked the perfect character for the way we approach these movies now. She didn't have much of a backstory, so they could just throw anything on there without offending the brand of Madam Web. But instead, we kept kind of a confusing, convoluted story with a lot of convenient jumps. And what a tangled web we weave when first we practice to Madam Web deceive, I guess. Didn't quite work out.
This weekend, if you're going to go see a movie, since there's nothing really big coming on this weekend, there's no big release. I say go see One Love.
Yeah, I do want to see it. It's just I'm not going to pay to go see it in the theater. I'll watch
it's like 90 minutes. It's fine.
We get it, John. You're in love. Good for you, buddy. This fucker.
You know what? It's good to see Bob Marley's music redeemed after the terrible version of Three Little Birds we heard for Wakanda Forever. That was one of the worst, most low-effort covers of all time. Right. Bob Marley's at least an interesting story. If we end up with a 90-minute music video where he just makes sense most of the time and doesn't act like a jerk, we'll all love it. We don't want deconstructed
Bob Marley. No, he's not.
You saw it.
Ziggy Marley was on hand for the entire filming.
It's possible I smoke weed.
His estate rode shotgun on this whole movie to make sure that it was done right.
But we don't necessarily have to have the man be heroic, but he's not a horror story. We don't get Ike Turner, the Bob Marley story. Thank God.
No. They do kind of gloss over the fact that he had so many kids from different women, but they just kind of hint at it. But
we don't need to really focus on it. His children are in on this and will benefit from it. They don't want to. Why would you make a movie that made your father look bad when you stood to financially benefit from it? His estate is not insane like some other estates. They're going to preserve his memory. I'm happy to hear that, and I would see one.
I just thought it was an odd choice for a Valentine's Day release. Let's go see this movie about a guy who got murdered.
He didn't get murdered. You're confusing him with Peter Tosh. Bob Marley died of cancer.
Yeah. But they attempted to murder him.
They tried to kill Mick Jagger too for hanging around with those people. I think it's pretty funny. The Coast Guard actually had to rescue the attempted murderers off the coast of Long Island. They got swamped trying to attack him at a Hamptons mansion with Carly Simon. I mean, it would be horrible if we lost Mick, but because of how it went down, it's funny.
Wow. Keith Richards, you don't ever have to worry about losing. He's going to be here along with the cockroaches when everything gets nuked. He'll be
Someone will shoot him. He'll form a band of cockroaches. Be like, you know what, man, you're out because this other cockroach is a better bass player than you, man. You just didn't want it enough. Get out of here, you cocky fight.
So, anything else we want to say about Madam Web? I don't think it's going to totally destroy.
Look at the pictures of the premiere.
I don't think it's going to destroy.
I think there's definitely an overreaction on it. I think it's a better movie that it's getting credit for. I don't think it's the worst movie ever.
No.
I think it's going to get a lot of the hate because it is a bunch of women. Maybe I'm just becoming less sensitive to that. But to me, it wasn't because there's in a lot of these movies there's always like the men hating snips, and there wasn't.
Yeah, there wasn't any of that in there.
There wasn't any men.
Tell me why Sydney Sweeney simply couldn't have played a 22-year-old.
Because she was
we
a
wouldn't have
teenager
needed to do this. But why did she need to be? We changed everything else.
Again,
why hire her? I have a philosophical issue with. Again, I said it about Colin Farrell, so of Colin Ferguson rather. So I'm not being unfair. There was someone who looked like that version of the Penguin who could have done good, and that's not saying that that Colin Farrell's a bad actress. A bad actor.
Well, I mean, you get a big time
Sorry,
actor
Colin.
because you get a big time actor because they're a big time actor. You don't get them. Because,
I didn't care for that movie, and I thought that he was good.
We're not getting in these movies. We're not always going to get lore accurate people. And the focus
so then
on just
Whoopi
her.
Goldberg is Nixon. Then let's just do that. Then we're going to have Sydney Sweeney be a child, and when she's a beautiful young woman.
Well, that's just the way they wrote the movie, man. She can't do anything about her age. That's for sure.
No, I'm questioning the movie, not her. The movie, not her.
I
She
agree
obviously
with
didn't write the
Joe
movie.
on disagree, and I agree with Noc on all. Laugh out loud. Yeah. Hey, man, one thing we don't do here, guys, we don't poo-poo people for what they like, okay? Because, hey, everybody has their sick, twisted pleasure when it comes to bad movies. Mine, I would say my favorite franchise that everybody just bags on all the time when I tell them is Blood Rain. I love those movies. I think they're awesome, but those are bold movies. So,
mine's got to be, and you can, if you look up the top 10 worst movies ever, this one is almost on every other list. Is 13th Warrior with Antonio Banderas.
I don't enjoy the hate for that. Man.
I watched that movie many times.
That movie is on both so many 10 best and so many 10 worst. It's a very controversial movie. I enjoyed it, but if you wanted to make a case like you simply enjoyed a bad movie, I would be willing to listen to that case because someone might be right. And if you wanted to say, no, it's like Commando, it's underappreciated and great, I would listen to that case with
I watched Commando
vigor.
like a couple months back.
Isn't it based on the Michael Crichton story, Eaters of the Dead?
What is it
now?
It might be.
It is. Yes.
Okay. 13th Warrior is based on the Michael Crichton story, Eater of the Dead.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep. We had the book and everything. I read a little bit of the book, but yeah.
Yeah, and that's one of my favorite movies, man.
I think that's the first movie I watched him in. So and I was a kid. So.
The only Michael Crichton book that I can think of that didn't become a movie is Jurassic Park 2, but that's because there's a movie that's completely divorced from his book that's actually kind of horrible.
It is.
And that's the other news coming out is they picked the director for Jurassic World.
Wait a minute. Which one was the one where Jeff Goldblum was running around with his kid?
That's number 2.
That's 2. Okay. Yeah. So I want to make sure I was speaking about the right one. Yeah, you're right. That movie is garbage.
That one has the unforgivable death of a Chad where the Chad saves them by wenching the RV and pulling it back up the cliff. And while they could have killed him, they gave him it was like a Roland Emmerich mistake. They took the Chad and they had the two Tyrannosauruses tear him in 2 different directions and throw him apart in 2 different ways. Horrible.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh man, he was a Chad. You couldn't just stomp him. Let him live even. It was up there with the guy who helps them free the Ark in 2012 when that Chad dies. You're like, oh, come on. Yep. Give me a Chad.
Okay, boys and girls. Well, we're getting to the end of it. We got to wrap this up at the 2-hour mark. Tig, do you want to push anything before we get out of here?
I'll be back out on Friday at 6:30 before Doomcock, and maybe we'll try something a little special during the weekend. Maybe there'll be a movie up our sleeve. Check me out on Twitter and check out my channel, Admiral Teague. And I am a magic Cuban. I can help you solve your problems.
All right, throw your link in the chat for me.
The link is on
in the private chat real quick, and I'll throw it up in my
NP
chat. Anything, and John, do you want to push anything besides what I'm already going to talk about, or
nope?
Okay,
just you're already going to talk about it, so
okay. All right. Well, boys and girls, you're watching the pop culture show we do every week. It's called State of the Atmosfere, where we give you a pop culture update and let you know what's going on with all that stuff. What'd you say? I'm sorry.
Didn't even ask me. It's cool to be skipped.
I'm not going to ask you because you haven't told me you're starting your channel up yet. All right, you honky. You're on all. I'm pushing everything for you.
Wow, it's like there will be blood. You're just another competitor to me now. You're just another rival, HB. I'm a family man.
Here we go. YouTubing drama. Look out, drama farming. Anyway, yeah, we do this every Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. Central Time. Come check us out for all the pop culture stuff, and then of course here at 8:00. It's the first of 2 game night shows that John does for Pop Culture Minefield every week. This particular time slot at 8:00 on Wednesday nights, he's bouncing back and forth between Uncharted and Pal World. So come check out Uncharted at 8 p.m. I'll be on there with him, and we'll troll John as he jumps from rock to rock. So
false a lot.
Yeah, and on Friday, he is now doing Detroit Become Human at
Yes.
8 p.m. And Noc actually showed up this week, and I probably
there
will in
again.
the future since it's on the weekends. So he can stay up a little later on the weekends. He's got a long commute in the morning, so he's probably going to bed here in a few minutes. But on Fridays, you can check out John on Game Night on Pop Culture Minefield at 8 p.m. as well, doing Detroit Become Human. And
It was really hard not to play that game this week.
really? You mean in this time slot? Are you addicted?
I mean, I wanted to go back and continue playing.
Yeah,
it's such a good game.
you.
Once a week is it's a very difficult game not to play.
Well, you got to finish Uncharted. Your Uncharted fans are going to be pissed if you don't finish.
Yeah, I'm going to finish Uncharted.
And you can dump Pal World at any time. I mean, that's a survival game. That's got no end.
Yeah, there's no ending to
But
Pal
Detroit
World.
Become Human.
Really.
You know, I love Quantic Dream. I love the stuff they do. So the one I play on my channel all the time is the one they did before that, Beyond Two Souls, with the aforementioned Elliot Page as a female named Ellen. So, and William Dafoe's in that one. They always have a good cast. I just saw the guy that plays the light-skinned African-American robot. He's on. My wife watches Grey's Anatomy like it's going out of style, and he was on that show for years. And he's in that game on Detroit Become Human. So go check that out on Wednesday. Check it out tonight for Uncharted, and Detroit Become Human at 8 p.m. Friday night on Pop Culture Minefield. And then, of course, I've got Sketching the Privateer on Friday afternoons at 1 p.m. Central Time. After lunch, come check me out, man. Doing the story of America's Pirate Patriot. I'm going to get back to my drawing board this week and start plotting the third issue out. I want to go ahead and get all the pencils done. Then I'm going to concentrate on all the inking and do it like that. So come check me out at 1 p.m. Friday afternoons to watch me drawn live. And then Sunday, you can catch me and my brother at 5 p.m. Central Time for the Brothers Hack the Matrix, where we show you what's going on in the clown show that is 2024 through today's headlines. We'll show you what everything that happened this week on the Brothers Hack the Matrix at 5 p.m. Central Time on Sunday. And then later on that night at 11 p.m. Central Time on Sunday night, after everybody's done with their late shows, I do Papa Joe Gamer After Dark, my first video game stream of the week. And this week I'm going to do 2K19, my favorite wrestling game. Come check me out at 11 o'clock on Sunday night Central Time. And then Monday morning on Pop Culture Minefield, we're going to do the Sand Pebbles on Military Monday with Gary on Pop Culture Minefield's channel. Come check that out. And then It's Only Talk and Roll comes your way at 4 p.m. Central Time on Mondays on That 70s Rock Fans channel. And this week we're going to do The Jerk, one of the best comedies you'll ever see. Noc, if you haven't seen this movie, add it to your Noc list because this is going to crack you up, man. It's fantastic. It's called The Jerk. It's an old one from, is this a 70s or an 80s movie, guys? I can't remember.
70s.
I think it was late 70s, right?
It's the cost, but it's I believe it's actually 1979, to be honest.
Really? Yeah. So,
I
mean, it's the comic genius of Steve Martin. You can't beat it. It is fantastic, man. Check that out. We're going to talk about it 4 p.m. Central Time on Monday on It's Only Talk and Roll on That 70s Rock Fans channel. And then Tuesday, I'll be playing Madden on Papa Joe Gamer After Dark at 10 p.m. Central Time on Tuesday. And then it's right back around here Wednesday for these guys. I got to herd my cats as we talk everything pop culture. So
I will make a better effort to do the Noc list this week. So that
hey, you said you weren't ready for it, so I didn't really harp on it, but definitely add The Jerk to that list, though, man. You will laugh your ass off. It is fantastic. It really is. Anyway, for myself, the Admiral, the Noxter, and Das Wolfen, I want to thank you guys for being here. And until we see you again, I want you guys to keep on keeping on. God bless. All right, boys and girls. We'll see you next time. Peace.
I'll see you in a few hours.